Everything changed on that fateful day. Looking back, I know that whatever we did changed our lives forever.
The sky raptured and something strange came through.
It was a great adventure. It showed us how little we knew about the universe.
It was scary, yet magical.
I wish we could do it again.
Part 2. The Best of What Might Be. Monday, 11th July, 1988.
Summer bakes the Broads. The tourists descend, and the beaches, the shops, the parks, the piers, everything bursts into life. Things have been intense for a little while after your escapade in the service tunnels. Regis sealed off the roads out of Great Yarmouth for a while and set up a number of traffic stops. They used the excuse of IRA bomb threats, but you had a feeling you knew what they were really looking for. But before long, they moved on. Did they give up the search? Remains to be seen. A few blurry photos of the egg chamber leaked to the BBC not long after the egg had been removed, and it didn't take long for conspiracy theorists to become the new form of tourist descending on Great Yarmouth. Despite whatever denials the UK government issued, it did little to dissuade them. Some people are here and intend to reveal all the loop's secrets. But for you, life has gone on. Your secret has remained safe. And best of all, summer holidays are just around the corner. We begin on a regular Monday morning. There's only a few of these left in the term now. I would like you all to give us a brief scene of your morning routine. What do things look like for you? Do you see your parents? Do you interact with siblings? Are you an early riser, or are you the one running for the bus?
Well, Becky, I think, is absolutely the one running for the bus. I think almost every morning, she wakes having stayed up way too late the night before, drawing most likely. The room is filled with more and more sketch pads, but it's not just fairies anymore. It's now little robotic designs, and there may even be some maths equations next to it, which is new for Becky. Becky is trying something new, but some habits don't come away quite so easily, and so the next morning she misses all of her alarms. She misses every call for breakfast until it is most likely about 15 minutes before the bus is due to arrive, when she wakes with a start, yells out at her sister for not waking her sooner, and then proceeds to attempt to get her uniform on, toothbrush stuck in mouth, hairbrush falling and dangling out of hair as she runs downstairs to grab the last piece of cold toast.
Can I add on to that?
You absolutely can.
Becky runs downstairs and Annabeth is there cool as a cucumber. She's got her blazer on, her backpack on, like she's eaten already. She's reading a book and she's holding like Becky's backpack with one hand. And there's like wrapped in like some kitchen roll is like a couple of slices of toast. Like her lunch is in there and her water bottle is filled. So she didn't wake you up, but she's not gonna let you go to school unprepared. And then the second that you finish shoving your shoes on, she just sighs, snaps her book shut, puts it in her little satchel, and like opens the door so that way we walk out together.
And I think in an absolute callback to our very first adventure together, as she's running down the stairs getting her shoes on, she yells out, "Almost ready!"
Annabeth rolls her eyes and like she doesn't say anything. She just like marches you to the bus stop. But you see, like on the lawn, the bikes weren't there before, but the bikes are out. As like a precautionary measure in case you didn't make it.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you're going to take the bus, but you're going to take a very short detour because there's been a development at the hideaway and you're just keeping an eye on it for now. But you're all going to meet up there. So let's see how everybody else arrives. Kimberly or Jesse?
Jesse. When Jesse wakes up, the house is silent, as it normally is. His dad isn't home yet, so they're going to go down to the kitchen, pull out the takeaway from the evening before, and heat that up, eat that. Just kind of not really paying attention to the time until it's not. They've got enough time to get to school, but they don't feel rushed in any kind of way.
As you're eating lazily, your eyes wandering around, they fall upon the end of the counter, and there is a letter, an open letter, half scrumpled up as if to almost be thrown away, but resting on the countertop where you could read it if you wanted to. And it very clearly has a Regis logo letterhead.
Curiosity will get the better of them, so.
It is a very corporate letter. And you skim it and there's a lot of jargon, a lot of what you will come to know in your adult life. The technical term is bullshit. But throughout it, somewhere towards the end, you do pick up, it says, "We've heard your feedback, and we want to assure you that we're working with math supervisors to tighten patrols and schedules. We've also made the decision to bring in extra security by way of CHN Security Limited in order to shore up some gaps and improve the efficiency of all patrols. In the coming weeks and months, there may be some redundancies in order to accommodate this shift, but we thank you in advance for your cooperation with this process and stress that it is our fervent hope that working together, Loop Security can be stronger than ever."
Jesse will linger on the word redundancy for a bit and then crush it in their hands as well and put it right back where it was. Doesn't feel like eating anymore. They'll just continue. They'll get ready for school, and then if they know to meet at the hideaway, then he'll head towards the hideaway.
It's probably been a common occurrence for you to meet there before school.
Mm-hmm.
If not in the past, then it's probably been becoming more common because of this development that we will find out about soon. Kimberly, how do you feel about going to school these days?
I mean, not great, but that's because the football season is now officially over.
It's tough, bud.
But we've had great news, right? Because the Eastern Counties League, it's got a new division, and we, the Bloaters, were in the Premier Division. And so, as you can imagine, Kimberly has been non-stop talking about the football since it ended in May. It is now July.
It's really the happiest anybody has seen her for like that length of time. She's floating.
I just talk every day and night saying we've got to get ready because we get into the top division and then we're gonna we can go all the way and I'm doing this as presumably in the last couple of weeks as doing fish and chip orders. I've just non-stopped talking, regardless of what anyone has engaged with me or not. And so with the sort of beginning of this particular day, it's like Mondays. Hate Mondays, but it's okay because I get to see my friends. And gosh, we're going to be ready come August because you know what's going to happen with the Bloaters in August? We're going to absolutely nail that first match and all that sort of thing. I think if anything, she'll maybe spend any weekends she can volunteering to help with pitch stuff, if that is a thing. Whether or not she gets in there, and they're like, "Who is that random girl that is just on the pitch, just sorting things out?" And they're like, "Oh, that's Liam's sister or something," and that's just left her alone. But a typical Monday, she gets up super early because like she kind of has this anxiety over schools. Because even though I wouldn't say she was terrible at stuff, but she muddles along the best she can and does the best. But there's always that little dread about being called back. You know, like Kimberly, could you stay for like an extra like 30 minutes or so just to catch up on stuff, and it's the slowness because she wants to go out and have fun and like run around, burn off that energy, and it feels boring to stay indoors and read. But she would never say that. She would never ever say that to Annabeth because she knows that's Annabeth's thing. But Kimberly struggles with reading. So, but yeah, every morning's the same in the sense of like she'll get up, get dressed. There's still, of course, the slight lingering odor of vinegar. It never goes away. If there's anything that's left over from the last night's chippy, she'll grab a couple of stuff, maybe cold fish, like the batter and stuff, like just bits essentially. She'll get out for her friends. She'll eye longingly at the pickled egg jar. Then when no one's looking, she absolutely has one for her breakfast and runs out the door. There may be a reason why she smells of vinegar.
I wonder what it could be.
I wonder what it could be.
Just leaking out of her pores.
Yeah. It's just
You do make your way to the hideout where you have stashed your egg. It has been stashed there since you acquired it in April. And up until now, it has remained mostly static, boring. There have been times where you've wondered, is anything ever going to happen with this egg? Is it even an egg? Is it just a rock? But you have known, Annabeth, that there is something within. You have been able to feel that constant connection. There have been no extreme emotions the way that there were back at Easter, but just a gentle sort of presence in your mind and no mistaking that there is definitely something there. But a couple of days ago, you noticed for the first time something that looked like a crack in the side of the egg. And so you have been watching like hawks, waiting to see what is going to happen. And you arrive this morning and the crack is still there. Do you have any rituals for entering your hideout? Or is it a free-for-all?
I feel like it might be a bit of a free-for-all at this point. We're all probably so excited about the egg that any rituals that we might have had have possibly gone out the window in just a mad dash to get there as quickly as possible. And you know that Becky, despite probably being the last up out of everyone, has absolutely been pestering Annabeth to be the first ones there the whole time.
Why do you think I had your bag ready to go this morning? Like,
Do you think it's got bigger?
I don't think it's got big. What, the crack or the egg?
It's the crack. Obviously not the egg, Annabeth.
I don't know. You're not clear sometimes, so I'm just checking.
Am I?
Sometimes.
Anyway, and then kind of dashes. We're gonna be late.
We're not gonna be late. We're fine. But yeah, I don't think there's any rituals so much as like Annabeth is like will like constantly surveil because she's a bit paranoid because the egg has been left unprotected for so long, and she just doesn't want people like. She hasn't heard anything about like 4 kids in relation to everything that went down. But I do have a question. The pictures that leaked to the BBC, were they like before while the egg was still there or after when the chamber was wrecked?
After.
Yeah, like the fact that that was in the news, she's like a bit paranoid. And so she's like constantly kind of looking around to make sure there aren't people like when they go in.
You haven't heard anything about 4 kids, but you have heard something about some kids. There have been reports, not official reports, because Math and Regis are denying anything happened at all. But you have heard rumors on the grapevine that they are aware of some kids trespassing or breaking in or something. So you have every reason to be paranoid, for sure.
Yeah, she's paranoid. But like once it's clear that everything is okay, like she's kind of like loops arms with Becky just to kind of keep Becky back a little bit. And then once it's clear, she kind of unloops her arm and like lets Becky be the first one in. As she like runs ahead, and she'll kind of like try and keep more cool and calm, but she is walking quickly because she wants to be near the egg. It's where she feels best at the moment. Like when we get inside, I think like those like crochet granny square blankets. The egg is like wrapped up in like a bunch of those. Like I've taken them from everyone's houses. And you can see in the corner like a discarded attempt of making one myself, and it's just like resting in that with like a little bit over it, so you can like see like the top like quarter of the egg. And she just goes and sits next to it and waits for the others.
I don't think we've actually described your hideaway on stream. We want to give a very brief account of what and where it is.
I've spoken a lot. Somebody else take the lead.
Well, we call it the Wendy House. And so it is if you are from the UK, think of a Wendy house. But it's like almost like a beach hut. Do correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But because it's more dilapidated than most, we've kind of repaired it with bits of like metal and stuff that we've scourged around. We don't know if it's necessarily loop related stuff, although there are some serial numbers that we might have just scrubbed off just in case, for maybe out of Annabeth's paranoia.
They were fine until a couple of months ago, and then they had to go.
Yeah. But the one thing I definitely remember was that there's a lot of like sea glass around that's been made into so that when the light shines through, whether it's in like a window pane or just somewhere, there's almost like a very naturalistic disco ball effect, perhaps. So that's why we get some of our light during the day, sort of brighten up that way. But it's quite dry, I want to say, and very stereotypical teenagers stuff. The only thing I would add to the nest egg is that there's definitely been newspaper there as an attempt to help, but I think Annabeth might have taken it away and said this is not suitable. But it's fine. Kimberly just
wait, hang on.
case.
Was it like scratched up newspaper, or was it like a newspaper like clipping kind of thing?
Oh no. So around the eggs, like scrunched up newspaper to keep things warm.
Maybe a little bit vinegary scent.
I don't know what you're insinuating there. It might have, but it would have been discarded, like stuff like the stuff that Kimberly would have brought the food in.
It's not visible, but it is like kind of like tucked in like padding around the edge.
Okay, there you go then.
Perfect. So yes, you all arrive in whatever order that you would arrive, depending on when you left and how fast you moved.
I know you said we don't have any rituals. I think Kimberly does. She knocks a code that she's created, but then nobody else uses. So she will knock to get in, and then just go in.
because there's no one there to stop you. Or
Yeah, exactly. But if anything, it alerts that whoever's coming in, it's Kimberly. So
Secret code.
yeah,
That's going to be really important later down the line. So
Mhm.
remember that.
Chekhov's code. Chekhov's
yeah.
not.
Check off Kimberly's
When
code.
the
Yeah.
clone appears.
Oh, hey, hang on.
Oh no!
You've done it now. Yes, I like the
giving me ideas.
bloaters. Wink.
So yes, when you all arrive, all you can still see is the egg and whatever else that you would gather in that place, sort of things that you would stash here, and currently no crack. But as you sit, and I mean, you've only got a little bit of time. This is a school day, and you do have to go to school. And so you're just here to check in, maybe give it a clean, maybe make sure that it's tucked in, that the wind hasn't got in and blown everything away, and just make sure that it's all right. How you would tell if it wasn't, you're not entirely sure. But Annabeth, you do get the sense that it's content, it's happy.
Out of interest, like when we clean it or sort of touch it, is it very warm to the touch? Is it cool? Like, what's the texture like of this particular?
It's very textured. It is like
Yeah.
rippled, and sort of vascular. I think it's kind of described as being black and grey and dappled, but the ripples across it are as ripples in a pond moving from one side to the other, like almost trapped in motion. So it is very, very tactile, very nice to touch. Annabeth, you definitely feel an active calming sensation when you do so, when you touch it. The rest of you just feel maybe a light sort of static buzzing, but not in a worrying way, just a comforting way.
I think Jessie has started to do this thing where she comes over and whistles and coos at it a bit, and will say, we'll have told you all that she went to a farmstead when she was younger, and to check how close chicks were, they would whistle to the chicks, and you could sometimes hear them in the egg. So Jesse's, as soon as the crack appeared, Jesse's like, I can't hear anything.
You haven't so far, but I think this morning you do. You're the last to arrive, and you go over and you get a little touch and feel that it's there and it's present. You whistle. You don't get a whistle in return. You get almost a chirrup, a sort of almost digital chirrup, a little croon.
Jesse's full body is pressed against this egg. just face smashed against the egg, trying to hear. Guys, I think it said something.
What? Becky, who was kind of had run in, inspected the egg, sighed when there was no change, and then just immediately found interest in like other things, like grabbed the sketchbook out and began drawing. I think that Becky has been making like notes, like making little like diary entries to be like, no change today, more blanking. Trying to pretend that she's making calculations. She might write some random sums next to it to try and feel a bit cleverer, so it just might be like 2 + 2 is 4 kind of thing, and just like written next to it just to try and make herself feel like she's being useful. But I think the moment that happens, she's like, what did you hear?
I'm not sure. It's like a I don't know.
She attempts to write that down.
So it's
Phonetically.
P-R-R-R-R-T.
Did you say it was more like a or a
Definitely a
Got it.
As you're having this conversation, you hear the sound again, and then you feel a pressure from the inside of the egg, and the crack that was previously there widens and lengthens. And as all of you watch, it becomes a gap in the egg.
Oh, she's
a
moving.
hole. And a creature emerges. And It is a dark grey on top. It pokes its little head out of the hole and makes that strange chirrup again, and it almost seems to have a reverb effect on it as you're listening. And you see a small head with a short muzzle that protrudes away from its face, and it ends in a very small round mouth. It is sort of, it looks almost oily, the skin. It's got a sheen to it constantly. But it has two small black eyes on either side of its head, and long droopy ears like a beagle that hang down around its shoulders. As it looks, sort of blinks, and it looks at each of you in turn. And Annabeth, you can feel a sense of ownership, of belonging emanate from this creature. In that moment, you are its people, and it is your creature. It looks up at you quizzically. It looks around curiously. Then it begins to break off the rest of the egg. And you see a short, squat body, rotund little body, and 4 legs. And the dark grey kind of changes into a bright pink on its underbelly. It's about the size of a baby pygmy hippopotamus.
Oh my god.
Why
So
would
big.
you
Okay.
say this?
Okay, Becky knows
It was small.
exactly what this is.
Big.
Becky just takes one look at it and goes, "It's a baby moomin."
What's a moomin?
It's
like
a hippo fairy.
thing.
A hippo fairy.
You should watch more TV, Annabeth.
I hand out my cold chips to the Moomin.
Oh.
It is incredibly curious about you. It has no fear that you can sense, and it walks. It can immediately walk. Like within a few minutes of emerging
God.
from this egg, it begins to like
It's just
stumble
a
across
baby.
the ground. And it
It's
looks
like
up.
important for it to break its own egg.
You see like
Gives it the strength to walk.
the whole snout.
I'm gonna cry.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh, it's okay. If you don't like chips, I'll have other things.
It turns away.
It
No.
doesn't like
Doesn't want the chips.
Does not
Okay.
want the chips, but its interest is piqued, and you can see it immediately begin looking around the room and go stumbling along. And at one point, its like little leg just sort of gives out underneath it, and it does a little stumble, gets back up, just keeps looking around.
Oh my
And you
goodness.
see a tiny little tongue-like protrusion from the end of the small mouth, kind of licking things as it moves around the room, trying to discern, can I eat this?
No. Okay.
Oh no,
It's-
we don't have food for it.
I go next to Jesse and go, what if it eats people?
Jesse is thrown back several months to the does it eat teeth conversation.
Becky just giving it a great big toothy smile.
Becky, no. I don't know.
Look, I don't know anything that doesn't like chips, and this thing doesn't like chips, so I'm all out of ideas.
Have you been giving your dog chips?
Oh,
Kimberly,
um,
Kimberly, please tell me you haven't been giving your dog chips.
no, I've been obviously not.
Oh no.
It likes pickled onion. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't like onions. No, sorry. It likes eggs.
I think Becky turns to Annabeth. I think we've established at this point that Annabeth has some kind of connection to this creature. So she'll go, does it feel hungry? What does it want to eat?
So Annabeth, while like when Jesse came in, Annabeth was like digging through like there's like a little sand corner in the Wendy house, and she was like digging like had pulled out like this old tin lunch, dropping some money in it, and she's just kind of been frozen in the corner watching all of this happen. Like kind of feeling what it's sending her way, but not really like dialed in because she was just so it happened so quickly. And she kind of just like shuts the box and kind of looks at Becky and then looks at this thing, and like all of her instincts is like to grab and hold. But it's like seconds old and she doesn't want to touch it because that might be bad. So
It
she's
doesn't take long for it to notice you in particular, Annabeth, and it sort of immediately comes toddling over. And it hasn't touched anybody else yet, but as it approaches you, it sort of softly headsbutts your knees where they're resting on the ground.
Oh gosh, hang on. Taylor is blue screen because this is so freaking cute.
Incredibly cute.
Look, I definitely have cute aggression where I just want to pick it up and hold it and like not squeeze it, but just like hold it tight and not let go. And the fact that this is not a real thing that I, Taylor, can have is upsetting me. Okay, hang on. Like as it like kind of headbutts my knees, I kind of like very, very slowly and like in trying to like put my hand where it can see, like kind of reach my hand for it. And I will just kind of like, if it lets me, like just with a single finger, like gently stroke its head. Oh my god, this is the cutest thing I've ever done!
Darcy, why aren't you getting nominated for a Crit Award? Come on.
Best alien creature
Creature.
impersonation.
Stacey
Someone
Darcy.
nominate
The
Darcy for that
nominations.
Crit Award.
Next year, but
Next year.
Yeah. I kind of like try and like broach my connection with it. And like I haven't tested which way this goes yet. Because I know it can send feelings to me, but I don't know if it can receive my feelings yet.
Ooh, interesting.
So
Okay.
I want to think about the times where I'm hungry, and also with that bring like a like not confusion, but like that feeling of like, am I hungry? Is this how I feel? I want to try and send that back.
That is most definitely an empathize roll.
Oh, wonderful. Fantastic. We love it when I have to roll. I famously
good
do
at
so
those,
well
right?
on these. Okay, so hang on. Okay, right. I've got 6 dice. What could go wrong?
Nothing.
I don't have
Absolutely
any
nothing.
conditions anymore.
Nope. Everybody has cleared their conditions at the end of last mystery.
2 successes!
Whoa. Okay, so you do succeed, and you can buy
And then
an
a lot
extra
of 4s. Mm.
And the extra effects you can buy on an empathize roll are ooh. If you succeed, you get to ask 2 questions. Oh, okay. So this is whether you succeed. This is just on a single success. You get to ask 2 questions. What is their weak spot? How can I make it do something? What does it feel? What does it want? What will it do? And is it lying? Which is probably beyond this small creature. On a bonus effect, you ask 1 additional question and take a +1 die on 1 roll when you use that information.
Interesting.
That might come in handy.
Okay. So I want to know, how does it feel?
It feels hungry. It feels curious. It's not in dire straits in need of feeding right now, but you put those 2 things together and you realize that now that it has had the chips offered to it and it's realized, no, that's not good enough. I'm going to go and find something else. Its investigations around the room are it trying to find food.
Does it have like a vibe of what, like, obviously it's brand new to the world, but like is there like a certain material that it's like, this could be something but not this?
It doesn't know enough about what materials are. And you get the sense that this is not it may grow into an intelligent creature, but in this stage of its
just a
development, it's like a human baby. It's just instinct. The instinct is just hunger.
I would like to know what will it do, because Annabeth has seen the baby and she's like, I don't know that I'm going to school today because we can't leave.
No.
It's a baby. You can't just leave a baby unsupervised. So either it's coming to school with us, or one of us has got to like play sick and babysit.
Like I say, it is not in dire straits, and you get the sense that it has fed whilst it's been in egg form, and it will be able to be sustained for a little while by that, but it will need sustenance.
In terms of what will it do, I'm basically, what I would like to ascertain is whether it's going to leave the Wendy house in search of food.
Absolutely.
Okay. I've made up my mind. I'm not going to school today. Okay, right. And then I get a bonus question.
Mhm.
Can you just quickly run me through the questions again, please? I'm so sorry. I've been
Absolutely.
distracted
No
by the
problem.
cuteness so thoroughly.
There's
So
now
you
a child.
got you asked, what does she feel and what will she do? The other options are, what are her weak spots? How can I make her do something? What does she want?
I would like to know, how can I make her do something? Like, my thought is, how can I make her like stay put?
You very clearly get that two-way connection. It wants to remain close to all of you now that it has imprinted on you. And it wants to stay close to all of you, but particularly you, Annabeth. You get the sense that it's kind of fooling around and having an explore, and it's not big enough to cause masses of trouble, and it seems fairly placid.
Is it small enough to fit in a book bag?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I heard much bigger. I was like, this is a hippo size.
Okay.
Wendy has
Baby.
Yeah,
villains.
Does Kimberly have a
Baby
sports bag?
pygmy.
Okay, pygmy. I missed the pygmy part.
I apologize. Baby pygmy hippo, not baby hippo.
No, you know what? I think Kimberly just sees it getting bigger and bigger as it just comes towards her.
So we have three options, the way that I see this. This is semi above the table talk.
Mhm.
Either one of us plays hooky and we take it in turns throughout the week to just stay at home with the thing. Or the more fun option is we bring it to school with us. And when we bring it to school with us, there are two sub options on this flowchart that I've made in mind.
This is so Annabeth. And I love it.
It's also so Taylor.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Taylor. So option number one, which is the more fun one, kinda, is that we keep it hidden in our bags and like do trade-offs throughout the day. The second option, and I don't know if this works because it's 88, but we've all like been to school in the UK. You know how they had those practice babies they gave you when you were teenagers to stop you wanting to have a teen pregnancy?
Whoa.
Hear me out. We get a baby seat and some clothes, and we dress it up. And we just say that that Annabeth and Jessie got assignments. They're not gonna share. No, not that we're sharing. That we both get one. That we both get one, and then we just kind of swap throughout the day. And then it's obviously there, but it's like an animatronic doll kind of thing.
I mean, I second that plan, but it means that me and Becky will also have to have some sort of doll to make sure we pull off this lie. I start getting the newspaper and putting it together to make some sort of horrible doll.
I've got my robot fairy with me, and I'm
Perfect.
like, does this work? And I like switch it on and it's just like doing like little like it's got like little like wings. It's just doing like little flappies, and its arms are just moving around like this. And I'm like,
I don't think that would necessarily work, but you know
Look,
what?
we're just trying to support you in this
It was.
endeavor
I
of
know that
motherhood.
one. I thought I knew that last one was kind of out there, but I was like, if we need to have, I don't want to call it Moomin. Like,
What's wrong with Moomin?
I feel like it's like a brand IP or something. So maybe we could call it.
What are
maybe-
these strange
oh,
words
if
you're
you're
saying,
worried about
Annabeth?
that, then I think that it might be a bit late.
I think a casual mention is fine, but maybe not calling
Okay.
it the thing. Maybe we could call it like Moo Moo or Minnie or something like that.
Moomy.
Pig?
No,
No.
no.
Moonpig.com. Oh boy, now we're
Sponsored
really,
by.
now we're
Oh,
really
no.
delving into it. We are not sponsored by them.
I mean, I feel like it might take more than just like I don't wish to speak for you, Jesse, but it might take all of us to. If it's coming to school with us, then let's just all tag team in. That might be the easiest way.
Okay,
think
so
we
we're gonna
should
go
try
the
to
sneaky
keep it
option.
hidden as well. I think we
Yeah.
should try to keep it
I
hidden.
Okay,
has-
look,
uh,
sometimes like hiding in plain sight, that's a phrase. That's something that people say. So it
Okay,
was
but you
worth
said
throwing
that
out there.
No,
People
Annabeth,
were looking for kids that might have been, and if there are the pick and mix people around that are after this thing, then we need to try to keep it hidden as much as possible. And if we keep it here, then they'll notice us not coming to school for weeks and weeks on end.
Oh, I was
yeah.
just gonna take it home.
They'll still notice.
Okay, right.
Like I can play.
We're gonna sneak it around in our bags.
Yep. It sounds like a problem for future us. Whatever we plan to. And I'm Kimberly, speaking as Kimberly, happy for later problems. I don't run from my consequences.
Problems.
Okay, right. We can hang on. I need to ditch some stuff, and Annabeth like puts her backpack down and starts like taking out a bunch of like books and notepads and
Oh
stuff
my
like that to
God.
create space.
I think
You're back.
Becky just takes this like little robot fairy and starts trying to play with this creature to distract it.
It is super interested in this robot fairy. And in
Yeah.
fact it does do its little, and it
Just
doesn't,
hold it out.
the face is not complete disgust. It's like it's
Oh no.
there's a
Oh,
twinge, there's a
no.
taste of something there that it's sort of interested in, but ultimately it decides no thank you.
Does it eat fairies?
It's gonna eat the walls.
You
It has to come with us.
Okay. I want to try one last thing. Again, I know it's a weird shout, but as we're kind of packing up, getting ready to go, like Annabeth has put like one of like the smaller blankets in her bag, so it's kind of got something to sit in that isn't gonna. Because you said it was like kind of oily, and she's scared her bag is gonna get wet, and then we noticed. The broken pieces of egg. I just like, you know how newborn babies like have like colostrum and stuff when they're like first born, and she wants to offer it part of the egg to see if there's any like nutrients left in it that will tide it
good
over a little bit longer.
Solid idea, and it is not dismissive of the egg, but it doesn't even reach to taste it. It's not
Okay,
super interested in it.
okay, that's fine. It was worth it. It was worth a try.
Process of elimination.
Process of elimination. Right. I put it in my bag.
Yeah. As you begin to get ready, sorry, go ahead, Ren.
I'm now saying as Annabeth loads the creature into her bag, Jesse's kind of just behind. It's like, do you like the name Moomy? Minnie? Meh. Something? Just to see if it responds to like just to see if it like responds to the voice or if it's just wants Annabeth.
No, it's not just locked to Annabeth. It is very interested in anything that all of you are doing. And as you begin to get ready to leave, before Annabeth has had a chance to like finish sorting out her bag and invite it in, the rest of you sort of putting your bags on and making to move towards the door, and it automatically starts trying to follow you and come with
Oh
you.
God.
Darcy,
when
stop! I'm
you-
in love.
Yeah, no, we have to take it to school with us. There's
Listen.
no.
That line goes around the block, as they say.
Right, Darcy,
Um,
we're gonna go off. We're gonna go potentially off script here. We're just gonna run away with this thing.
Okay, hear me out.
Yeah, leaving Yemma.
We make it a tiny denim jacket to match Jessie.
This is how
And
we end up getting
artists.
distracted, everyone.
and
Yes.
then like surely like beads are a thing. We can make it like a little rainbow necklace to match Becky, and like also
Listen,
give like loads of tiny items.
if we have anybody watching who's a fan artist, this is what we want. Okay, we don't want to see the characters. We don't
No.
want to see
No.
the gang. This is what
No.
we want to see. We want
just wanna
beads
see-
on a denim jacket on a baby pygmy hippo. Please, thank you.
Jessie
baby
will destroy some jeans to
moving.
make it happen.
So yes, it will very happily toddle into your bag, and it kind of does a comedy forward roll trying to get in and tip her bag over.
Darcy,
I've
you
got
are
you all
doing
exactly
this
where I
on
want you.
purpose now.
Look,
All right,
If
fine. We'll go to
any-
school. Go.
And
look.
it sits
if
in
school
there.
doesn't go well, we can ditch. Okay.
As soon as it settles in, it kind of just
So-
looks as if it's snoozing away quietly. It's very, very content, very
Small.
happy to be there.
Okay, good.
So small.
So small.
So you make your way to school, which is good. Now you're not going to get in trouble straight away.
I'm ready to
Um,
risk it all.
I'm so
Not
nervous.
saying you're all predictable. So let me see. We do not have a map of the school. That's fine. Grove High School is where you all go. You all attend the same school, and this is the main high school in the area. It's a standard secondary. You go here when you're 11 to 16. It's one of those schools. I believe this was a thing in the 80s where a school could pick sort of specialization and advertise itself as being a maths school or an arts school. Unsurprisingly, Grove High School is a science academy. It is specialized in the sciences. You are very lucky in that you get a lot of sort of guest speakers and events and that kind of thing because of your proximity to the loop and the research that goes on there. The very first thing that happens is an assembly. Who doesn't love a good old school assembly? A fairly small school, so you are all herded into the hall together. You sit in rows on the floor. I think maybe the year 10s and year 11s get to sit on a chair, but they're at the back. Year 7 at the front, working your way back to year 11 at the back.
All right, I'm at the front.
Cross-legged in your little school skirt.
Down in front, I say from my row three places back. Can't see anything.
And assembly is held by the headmaster, Mr. Parker. And he is a very old school kind of guy. He's not that old, but you can tell he was like raised by a generation who believed in fairly strict discipline. Very humorless, dry kind of guy. And he begins the assembly, welcoming you all and going through some basic housekeeping notices. And there are a couple of staff sat up at the front next to him, and you notice a new face. And eventually he gets to the point where he says, "Now, despite the lateness of the term, yes, I am aware you only have a few more weeks until your summer break, though I do not expect to see any reduction in your focus and quality of work until that break begins, mind you. I am nonetheless delighted to introduce you to a new member of the science department. I'm sure we're all very happy for Miss Ward, who's gone off to have her baby, and we look forward to welcoming her back sometime in the next school year. In the meantime, taking over her classes, we are very lucky to have Mr. Raff, formerly of the Loop research team. where he conducted high-level research into some of the greater and more abstract mysteries evoked by the loop's operations. Mr. Raff is a specialist in the sciences and some fascinating areas of study that push the very boundaries of what we know about the universe. You have an exceptional resource in him, and it is my fervent hope you'll be learning as much and as you possibly can, enhanced by the insights that he can guide you to. And you very clearly now see the figure of Daniel Raff stand up, give an incredibly awkward wave, and just stutter out, it's Dr. Raff, actually. Yes, yes, very good. Moving on, sports day will be here soon, and next week you will be split up into your houses to select competitors for the event. And he just drones on and on about really boring, tedious things. Eventually, mind you, there is a small murmur, a small ripple of murmurs, shall we say, when Daniel Raff is introduced. And you are aware that there are rumors around about him and about his participation in events in the spring and his reasons for no longer being a part of the Loop team. And you can hear jeers, and the bullies are over in the corner making snide remarks about him losing his job and wanker teacher.
Minus one tooth. Very important to remember.
It's a really prominent one as well. It's like right there, and it's really obvious that it's
I
gone.
gave it back. I say to no one.
So after assembly, your school day proceeds as normal. And if I tell you that your school day looks like class 1 and then playtime, play, and then class 2 and then class 3 and then lunch and then class 4 and then class 5. Basically, what I'm going to ask is for you guys to tell me when you would have an interesting class and what that would look like. But it doesn't have to be all this same day. You can tell me about something interesting that happens during the week. But at some point, I would like somebody to tell me about their science class with Dr. Raff.
I think for the most part, name pending, the little cutie baby passes between me and Jessie for the most part because we're in the same class. But then before PE and before science, because even though Dr. Raff helped us, Annabeth isn't 100% sold. In the break or the lunchtime, we kind of go around the back of the school, where the dumpsters are out by the cafeteria where no one really wants to go, and there's the forest is just a little bit too close. We'll go back there and do a trade-off. Just so that way we don't have to deal with an awkward it's not gonna stay put, or Dr. Raff asks a question and her bag makes a funny noise.
So you're engineering this so that nobody ever takes the creature into a science class with Dr. Raff.
Yeah, so it stays out of science and it stays out of PE.
That makes a lot of sense.
Everything else kind of makes sense. Well, because the thing is, you can't take your bag with you out on the field, can you, or into the gym? So it's just gonna kind of be wandering around, and what I don't want is for somebody to have to go to the bathroom, and they go into the changing room, and then this little pink thing is playing with Allison's bracelets that she's left in her thing, and then it eats one, and then somebody runs out screaming, saying there's a monster in the changing room, and we've got to beat the teachers back.
I can see the spiraling happening.
Yeah.
Can we all see that?
It's happening in real time, baby.
And then we're arrested, and then
being arrested is not the thing that Annabeth is scared about. She's scared about because they
being
hurt
expelled,
the egg.
probably.
No. Well, because they hurt the egg, they'll hurt the baby, and then that's one bad thing. But the other bad thing is that when the baby is hurt, Annabeth is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So things she doesn't want include, but not limited to, the adults finding out.
I think an interesting class that Kimberly would be in, whether or not patent pending Moonpig comes with Kimberly, is of course home economics. Now, this is the thing, because Kimberly isn't necessarily academically gifted, so as a result, is very conflict avoidant when it comes to that sort of stuff. So it instantly will take any other class that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So she has a lot of home economics, and I just think a montage of her making various foods and then offering it to the backpack to see if it takes food. It'll get to the point by the end of the week, there's like chocolate gatto, multiple ways of fruit salad, Victoria sponge, and then maybe a lasagna, just randomly, you know.
These all end up at the hideaway in the Wendy house.
Yeah, there's old failed food products. Yeah. Years later, she'll be on Bake Off, but not today. Like, but yeah, it's essentially like the any teachers or any people watching, just she looks really like sweating, like, oh, the oven's not on, like just constantly trying to. The harshest critic who doesn't like chips must like something. So it's just trying to find out what that they can make to at least bide away the time, but maybe draws more attention onto Kimberly than anything else.
You manage to, I mean, again, process of elimination. You work your way through the food groups, and you fairly quickly come to the conclusion that whatever it is that it's seeking out, it's not human food. It's not. I hesitate to give too much away. All right, maybe I'll give it away if you can manage a decent roll for me.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Now
it seems in the spirit of RPGs, I guess.
Yeah. So I would argue. I think right now. This is the thing.
Tell me how this is a move roll.
No. Sadly, I don't think it is. I'm just rushing around the kitchen. No, I think annoyingly, I think it's comprehend, and I only have one dice to comprehend.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do it.
You never know.
Oh, I've got 2. I've
3.
I got 3. Sorry, it's the mind. It's because I've got nothing in comprehend.
You got 2 in mind, yeah.
Yeah, I've got 1 success.
Yeah, great. Okay, so with 1 success, yeah, okay. You. I'm gonna make an assumption about Kimberly.
You're quite an last session.
Watch me say it in 2 more sessions as well.
Okay, great.
You're quite an experimental cook.
Yes.
So once you've gone through the regular things, you're not afraid to push the boundaries and try everything.
Yeah.
And you try everything.
Yeah, crayons.
And this creature is just not interested. Whatever it is after, it cannot be organic. That's the only conclusion that you can come to.
Okay. Another attempt failed. Zip up the backpack. I'm like, bye, and I just leave like so much washing up, and poodle my way out to hand off the creature to someone else.
Anybody else got a scene?
Do you share this information?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm not doing it like I think you would be able to tell from as a storyteller said, like there's so much food left over. Like you're all round eating little like homemade petit filous or whatever. As I'm explaining, like I get out my own diagram of food, the food chart I've stolen from school. It goes no meat, no fish, not even vegetables, high processed sugars. Just none of it. Big crosses throughout everything, essentially. But yes, that I would tell you that pretty much by the end of the week that I've gone through all the food groups, and then at the bottom I've added my own one which says crayons, and then that's a big cross through that one as well.
I'm a huge fan of like the hyper focusing of just like the experiments.
Well, I guess because ultimately, as the fear has come from, like as Jesse has said, that a fear that he doesn't eat normal food, it might eat people. So I'm just narrowing it down to make sure that what is it that it does eat, and then I'm like, okay, so far I've got it. It's either non-organic or people, and then
Right. Because I think that Becky is also trying to figure out what this thing might eat. And I think that she's a little interested by the fact that it does seem interested in her fairy toy, and she's trying to figure out what it is about it that it liked. Was it that it liked to play with it? Was it like well, because her first theory was it's a fairy, it likes the fairy toy because obviously it recognizes a fellow fairy. But I guess she wants to cross out all of the things. So do we have, like, would this school have a robotics or a class that
Absolutely.
is just because we are in a place where the loop exists?
Yes, you're not only in a place where the loop exists, you're in a place where the loop brief history of alternative Great Yarmouth. It was the Magnetrine Harbor that was built first. As soon as the Magnetrine effect was discovered, the local council wanted to get in on what was the ground floor of inevitably a booming industry. And so they converted their harbor to be able to accept Magnetrine ships as well. That led to a lot of research, led to a lot of funding, vicious cycle, but not vicious. It was very prosperous for the region. And it was partly that interest already built into the area that led Regis to build the loop where they did.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you have a lot of classes in science are focused on things like this, and I think a robotics class would probably be for the higher school. It'd probably be for year 10 and 11. But
Too young.
But you could ask an older classmate to do this, or you could just go and talk to a teacher, or you could sneak in. You're good at sneaking.
Oh yeah, maybe I'll try and sneak into a robotics. Yeah. All right. I think that is exactly what she will try to do. She will try to sneak into a class on robotics, and I guess what she's trying to figure out is if this will teach her anything about what it might be that the creature was attracted to. Because I think that if she's like, during the time that she had the small amount of time that she might have had care duty for the creature, she's probably tried to interact with this thing, and it's like pulled this sort of semi-interested face, but she's like tried a few different things. She's tried to play with it stationary. She's tried to like maybe take parts of it off and see if it's interested in certain parts. So I think that she is going to watch this and she's going to try to figure out if there's anything about whether it's the robotic nature or what it is. She's trying to understand, basically.
It sounds like a comprehend roll again. Just for clarification.
First?
Absolutely, you do.
Yeah, I thought
for clarification, are you going to take the creature with you into this class to try and gauge a reaction from it? That's not intended to be a leading question whatsoever.
I think the answer is only yes if Dr. Raff is not teaching the class, because she has had strict instructions from Annabeth.
No, he doesn't teach the robotics class. He teaches generalized science.
I will take the creature with me. I want to study the creature. Oh God, this is going to go so wrong, isn't it? I'm going to sneak in. I'm going to sneak in first.
All right, then. You know what to roll.
Yeah, I do. Let's see if I succeed.
It's a lot of dice.
Oh boy!
You've got all your luck points.
I've got all my luck points. I'm going to take another luck. I'm going to try it.
Pushing's more fun.
I could push, couldn't I? No, I'm gonna take.
You got luck. Don't worry. You got luck. Don't worry.
Yeah, use luck before stacking up conditions.
No, what a shame. What a shame. Luck was not on your side.
Okay,
no successes.
So
can I push or no? No, I can't.
I think you can. You can if you want to. It is early to gain conditions.
No, I'm not gonna do it. Oh.
I'll tell you what. I have neglected to mention one piece of information. This is purely above the table. Now that the creature has imprinted with you, once per mystery, one of you can describe a scene related to your connection to the creature to clear a condition, as if it was your anchor. Ooh. Just putting that out there for future use.
That's good to know.
But if you are not going to push this roll?
No, because I think it might be more fun to get caught.
Absolutely it is. I certainly think so. Especially because the person who catches you is, of course, Dr. Raff. You are spotted, scuttling along the corridors, fairy wings in tow, leaving a trail of glitter. It's hard to believe you're good at sneaking. Wow. But you hear a voice call out, "You there? Shouldn't you be in a class?"
I feel like it's a comedy moment of like, just like a stop and like, and then a very, very, very slow turn. I was just on my way to a class.
You're rather late, aren't you?
I'm really sorry. I got lost.
I know you from somewhere.
Well, we've never really spoken.
You still seem very, very familiar.
Do you know my dad from the harbour?
No, I don't think so. Oh, I do know you. You were in the... You were in the marketplace at Easter.
Market? Oh! Yes, I remember. You were helping my sister with her fanfiction.
Yes, that's right. The writer. Yes, I remember her.
She's very good at it.
Good. I hope it is well received.
Oh, she's moved on to a totally different story now.
Oh, indeed. Well, that's good, given the subject matter. I'm still very interested in that subject, however. And I wonder if I might... Your sister goes to this school, does she?
Not anymore.
She's leaving very soon.
Oh. She's year 11.
Yeah.
I see. Good. Well, that's good to know. Good. Very well. Move along to class. But do know that you can talk to me if you ever need to about anything.
I'll keep that in mind. What's your take on leprechauns?
You're still talking in metaphor.
Were we talking in metaphor before?
Get along to class, or I'll have to talk to the headmaster. He's incredibly flustered. Throughout this whole conversation, his eyes are darting which way and that. He's not used to talking to kids. And being put on the spot in a position of authority, and then you presenting him with that, with who you are and who you're related to, the whole time you can see the sweat patches just beginning to form.
Oh.
Bro, you're a whole teacher now. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, why are you working with kids if you don't know how to interact with them, fam?
You had to talk to one child and you're sweating. Bro, the classroom is bigger.
I Sometimes it's worse when it's one-on-one. There's nowhere to move. There's no
Yeah,
escape.
agreed.
I don't think that Becky has any tact whatsoever, so I think that she says, "Do you want to borrow my deodorant?"
What was your name?
No,
no.
get out, run away.
Bail, bail, bail.
Abort mission.
I think that she would actually say that. I think she would like realize afterwards, and then that moment that she realized she stepped too far, and she goes, "I'm late for class, sorry, bye," and then runs off.
Wow. This poor man. We've ruined his life twice now.
That's a take. This poor man.
You know what? Becky did perhaps the best thing. He's gonna be looking for me in the wrong year group because I'm a year 10, not a year 11. Because I'm 14 to 15,
smart.
not 15 to 16.
Yeah, Becky doesn't think of it like she knows that you're leaving the school soon. She doesn't know in how many years soon, so she's just like, "Oh yeah, but not for long."
Yeah, I'm leaving the school soon at 3 o'clock, and I'm never coming back.
Me
A
and this
Becky
alien
Stewart panic.
hippopotamus.
Me and Moo, we're leaving.
Mhm.
We're going away.
Okay. It is officially called Moo now. Thank you.
Moo, got it.
Excellent.
I love it.
I didn't vote for Moo. I voted for Moonpig. But no.
You
Branding.
Do that.
All right then. So, Jesse, tell us about a class that you have. If you can't think of an interesting one, it should be science.
Oh, I mean, I was gonna go to music, but you know what? Let's go to science.
Absolutely. All right, your pick.
I can do science, so you can do music.
Okay. It's their preferred class of all classes. So, I think Jessie, when she gets handed off the
Moo, you can say it.
the little moo, she is normally like of all the classes, she's normally fairly attentive in music, trying to understand theory and complexities and time signatures and anything that she could use later. But very distracted throughout the classes this week. She just keeps, because she doesn't own a guitar. She uses the one that the school has. And so in between moments when they're meant to be practicing, they just start playing like really like soft ballads to themselves, but it's so the little Moo can hear them just like gentle guitar tones, which is another contrast because normally it's just very aggressive acoustic guitar in the background, sometimes to the point where they have to be told to stop because it's overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. I think this is probably a class in which it might be able to cause some trouble, they said.
Sounds fantastic.
How dare you? Moo is a lady and she is well behaved at all times.
She, as she has now been gendered.
No. Moo's gender is whatever pronoun is used at the time.
So the creature has been fairly docile most of the day. I'm assuming this is still the first day, or is this another day that has passed, do you think?
It could be that I think we worked out the exchanges on the first day. So yeah.
So this is the end of the first day.
Okay. Yeah.
The creature's been fairly docile. He's slept and just dozed and occasionally poked its head out. And when you do the exchange, like if you go to check on the creature, it's very excited to see you and curious about all the different foods that Kimberly is bringing it, and sniffs around some things, and maybe you let it out to go run on the grass and it rolls around and just enjoys the sensations and explores around like a puppy would. And I get the sense that you get a little bit of time to yourself in music class. Like there's a point where you're kind of allowed to just jam out and explore your instrument. And as you do so, you can tell, and Annabeth from across the school, you can feel this sense of intrigue, but in a relaxed way, like, oh, this is really nice. And pokes its head out of your bag, takes a look around. Other people are busy, nobody notices. And it wanders over to you and watches what you're doing. And it's doing that little tasting motion. There's something around that it's interested in. If you let it explore and kind of shuffle around at your feet looking for things. You're letting it explore?
Yeah, Jesse has eyes up, making sure the teacher isn't looking in this direction. Just letting it meander.
It makes its way across to the wall where presumably you're playing an electric guitar and it's plugged into an amp, where the amp is plugged into the wall and it's plugged into one of those double sockets. The plug takes up one of them, the next one is vacant, and it makes its way over to the outlet. And before you can react,
No.
there is a surge across the school.
Oh God.
And the power cuts.
And you just hear tens of children screaming.
Yeah.
Jesse just immediately dives for little Mumu. She's like, oh no. She's trying to just guide it back into the backpack before anyone looks in this corner.
As you reach Mumu, it is chirruping delightedly.
Mumu eats electricity.
Its little lips.
That's so cool.
This is
And
a
you
creature that
scoop
causes
it up.
problems on purpose.
You scoop it up and it's almost like blissed out and half asleep. You know, and you've had like the biggest bowl of pasta in the world and the carbs are just heavy and you're just like, oh, so good. And it just rolls up in your backpack and falls back to sleep. The power has gone from the school.
You're such a problem. You're such a problem.
Oh my God.
So, because of the power cut, you don't get to go home early. We'll say that was like the last class of the day. Sorry.
No.
There's a lot of confusion and a lot of screaming and laughing and taking the piss, and people, you know, it's like when kids have something deviates from the norm, there is wild speculation about what the cause of the power cut might be, from alien invasion to IRA bomb threats to, you know, every possible thing, running the gamut.
I feel like the wackiest ones are coming from Becky.
Absolutely. Probably the ones closest to reality are coming
Becky's
from
got
Becky.
an absolute conspiracy theory ring going on.
I'm just listening out for whoever's blaming Dr. Raff in the robotics lab because they're used to their parents like bragging on him.
Is that a roll? Are we going to get straight back in with a roll?
Oh, I hope not, because I don't roll well.
No, you roll amazing. You're doing amazing, sweetie.
If that's an investigate, right?
I reckon so, yeah.
I don't have any conditions as far as I'm aware. So that is definitely so that's 5 for mine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 3 for investigate. Can I think of a way to incorporate my fan fiction notebook just so that way I can put more dice into this?
Constantly writing cross out.
I mean, people know I'm interested in Dr. Raff and that I've spoken to him for my fan fiction. Is there a way that I can add another dice to this? Because I think it'll be funny.
No.
Dang.
No.
Brutal.
You know what? I tried. No one can say I didn't try. Oh no, I've lost the die. I hope my
You
dad
know
doesn't
what?
do that.
That is a bad
A+
roll.
for gumption.
Yep.
You got to
Hey,
ask.
Darcy.
Hi.
Hi. How do you feel about 3 successes?
Oh. I think you wasted 3 successes on a roll that doesn't really matter, and you could have saved that luck for something
Oh
better.
no, let's
But
get some
hey!
bonus. Let's get some bonus.
You told
tea.
me to
Let's see.
roll.
No. We're gonna make this worth it. With 3 successes, you're gonna get so much extra stuff.
I'm gonna get so
Let's
much. I'm gonna get a
find-
map to the power station.
Fucking power station.
I'm
So
sorry, I like teasing you about it. I promise you.
what
will go.
specifically? I'm gonna tease you about it back when we get there, and it's full of guards. What
Incredible.
specifically are you trying to? Just be more specific. Then I'm trying to listen out for this one rumor. Who are you listening to? What keywords are going to pick up in your mind? Where
Okay.
are you, and how are you doing this investigation?
Okay, so picture the scene. The bell goes off and everyone floods into the hallway. People are shoving each other trying to get to their lockers. It's dark. There are lots of screams. Annabeth is walking absolutely serene through the crowds of people that are passing in front of her.
It's Regina George in the final scene where jungle mayhem is going on.
Yeah, because Annabeth in her head has an idea, because this is just too random to be random, and she has a feeling that one of her friends is involved. But what she's listening to is she's listening to people talking around, like, you know how like you always hear snippets of conversation and stuff like that. Her keywords are Dr. Raff, because honestly she thinks people are gonna, like, it's either him or it's her friends.
Gotcha.
But people aren't going to talk about her friends specifically, like, unless somebody did something really silly and obvious. So she's listening to she's listening to teachers and students. If she hears the words of Dr. Raff, she pauses. If they're just ragging on him in general, like, oh, he gave me homework, that bastard, like, I like ignore that. But like, if anyone's like, oh yeah, this is definitely his fault, my parent, blah blah blah, like that kind of thing, I'll like kind of pause and like just look in my bag for stuff, like checking I've got everything, so that way I can like listen to more of the conversation.
Okay. So, when you succeed on an investigate roll in Tales from the Loop, you get to ask 2 questions from this list. When you gain extra effects, you gain an additional question. So that totals 4 questions from this list. Did I do math?
Okay, can I add my own
Thank you, Fiona.
questions?
I'm gonna say, let me read you the questions and see what you think. They are fairly specific, so they may not all apply. Let's see how they go. See if any of them strike you. What is hidden here, and where is it? What does it mean? What has happened here? How can I get into, out of, past something? You cannot say the power station.
Wow, that's weirdly specific.
So weirdly, it's
I
the text.
when you asked that one. I went.
It actually says that, yes. This isn't
I know,
even They
that's
Grow Up So
what
Fast. This is just a core book, and it says,
Oh,
Taylor
weird.
cannot ask about the power
Hang
station.
on, who wrote Tales of the Loop? I need to send a really
JC
quick
Darcy,
email.
lead writer. What?
Please hire me. Free League, if you're watching this, hire me. The final 2 questions. What threats can I perceive here, and where is it? If none of those really... if 4 of those don't strike you, I will give you something else. Something better.
Okay.
So,
hear me
bit of a
out.
gamble.
Okay. So I was just taking like shorthand notes. So
Sure.
the 3 questions that I would like to ask from the list are: what does it mean? What happened here? What threats are here? And then the 4th one is who is shipping Dr. Raff with different teachers. It's my final one. The delay on that as you all
is relevant again.
the delay on that as you all processed what I said. I was like,
We all
oh
just
no,
was
is
like,
that not
right.
funny? And then It took a beat. Okay.
Okay.
You
Let
can
me
no.
think.
Give me the I do need to pick this dice up off the floor before my dog eats it. Hang on.
Please do. Okay, let me have a
You
think
can
of
give me
how
whatever
best.
information you want to give me. But also
I want to reward it. I really want to reward 3 successes. And I feel like those specific questions, I could answer those for you. They would probably be abstract. I feel like I can do better. You are looking for people talking about Dr. Raff. What I'm going to say is you hear Dr. Raff talking. In the dark of these hallways, you can hear his voice, and it's loud and animated.
Oh gosh.
And in amongst the sea of students, you're able to get fairly close. And he's talking about you all.
Gosh darn it.
He is relaying to another member of staff, not the headmaster, we'll say like maybe a department head or a deputy head, somebody high-ish up, but not all the way to the headmaster. And he is asking about, he starts talking about Becky and goes on to talking about the rest of you. He's trying to find out more about you. He's asking what classes you're in, if you've been trouble before, and you specifically hear him say, I don't know, I had an interaction with one of them earlier, and they were flippant. She was flippant and rude, and very, very rude. They seem like drama. They seem like the sort to cause problems.
Could never be me.
I'm
about to
about right now.
I think that's the reaction. Like from the teacher who is like, Becky? I don't know. I wouldn't have thought Becky would be getting into trouble. And he's kind of insistent, but he doesn't really get much out of the conversation. The other thing that you get, you hear that conversation run its course, and then the teachers both walk off in opposite directions. Daniel Raff walks away from you, and you see this, let's say the deputy head, walk past. Like as this conversation is going on, it's just bedlam in the school as all these kids are filing out and shouting and still having these speculative theories about what's going on. And in the melee, as it sort of quietens down, as the kids straggle their way out of the door and head home, you look around the corner into the corridor where Dr. Raff had been, and your keen eyesight with 3 successes picks up a piece of paper lying on the floor.
I love pieces of paper.
Pieces of paper are the best.
With writing, that's like my whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can read. I'm really good at it. I take the piece of paper.
Excellent.
What does it say? Give me, please.
I'm gonna do you better than telling you what it says. I'm going to show you the notes in our VT.
This is exciting.
There you go.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh.
Taylor,
Okay, I'm gonna let you read it though.
would you like to do a dramatic reading for us?
Seeing it.
Don't ignore everything in red and blue brackets.
Okay. Daniel, it's been a while. I hope things are okay with you. I've heard you're a teacher now. Remember that you were a kid too, once. So go easy on them, and I hope you inspire the next Hawking. I remember when we talked about adopting our own. What?
What?
Hello? Did that scare you away? I was right to go with the romantic tone on this. Is that why you focus so much on your work?
Oh my god.
I miss you. Maybe we could meet for a cup of tea.
Wait a minute, we're matchmakers now. Forget the rest of the plot.
You wanted shipping.
I wanted shipping. Things aren't going great here. Regis are bringing in more and more people from outside the loop, and we're starting to be replaced. I saw what you did in spring, and I was impressed, even if you pissed off just about everyone in management. I assumed you wanted a couple of keepsakes of it, so here are a few pages of notes and some photos. I couldn't remove everything, only what appeared to be duplicate data or inconsequential, so the rest is here in the labs. Call me Dr. Peter Alexander. Hello, sir?
Well, this has just dominated the entire
Happy Pride Month to Dr. Raff and Dr.
Happy
Alexander.
Pride, Dr. Raff.
For those watching this in July, we're recording in June.
Yes.
Happy Pride to them and them only.
I will say it. I misspoke. It wasn't just this piece of paper. It was an envelope with this letter in. And if you look at the front of the envelope, it was addressed to Dr. Daniel Raff, and it has his address, his home address.
His home address.
It?
Wait, I know.
It was already open. It was already open when.
Okay.
Yeah, we've not stolen mail. Don't worry,
Yeah.
guys.
First things first. I go to the girls' bathroom.
Okay.
Second things second. I open up my fan fiction notebook and immediately copy down the address on the outside of the envelope, Dr. Raff's personal address. I then copy down the entire letter, because like just shorthand, word for word. What else is in this envelope?
Yeah, go on then. You 3 successes. There. So one thing. I will put this up on the overlay. But one thing to note that wasn't read out. Sorry. The note was written on math letterhead. And enclosed in the note are a couple of photographs. This is the data that Dr. Alexander has sent to his seeming ex. There are
Math love note.
Photographs of what looks like a large creature, approximately the shape of Moo, but much, much larger. Oh, no. Its legs are tucked up.
Scale?
Bus scale.
Okay.
Its legs are tucked up and it is floating in the air. It is night. It is emanating a purple glow. It looks incredibly familiar.
It's gonna get so big, everyone.
How many photos are there?
A couple from.
Okay, I need a number, please. Like 3.
Let's say 5.
I take 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep 1. The best, most aesthetically pleasing, levitating.
I will say they are all taken from the same vantage point, and they show in the order in which you can see them. They appear to show the creature floating away from the photographer, from that person's point of view.
I'll take like a middle one, so that way it's not as obvious. I've taken like the first one or the last one.
Cool.
I am then going to put everything back where I found it. I'm gonna tuck my fanfiction notebook back in my bag.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go back to the hallway that I found it. I'm gonna drop it on the floor and walk away.
Excellent. Okay.
Because he's gonna come looking for that, and I'm not having that on me. Absolutely not. And then it's getting pretty late, and I know the others were headed to the Wendy house, so I'm just gonna book it for the Wendy house.
Okay, sounds good. So we'll say that the rest of you got out of school on time and wasted no time going to the Wendy house, especially Jesse, who's probably running faster than anybody ever has.
My ankle is better now. Nothing else.
It's very strong.
It's been a couple of weeks.
She's so strong.
So the 3 of you will have a little bit of time before Annabeth arrives Jesse, we'll say you get there first. What do you do with Mumu when you arrive?
So Jessie has Mumu on her front in the backpack like a baby carry. And when no one else is there, Jessie is like turning back and forth. She's like, oh no, oh no, oh no, please. Just full of anxious energy, and is going to tuck down. It's like she's expecting someone has found out and followed her here, and so it's just gonna like tuck down as much as she can and hide in a corner of the Wendy house. It's just like holds Mumu protectively. It's like, I'm not gonna let them take you, but you can't do that, please.
Oh, we can't hear you, Darcy.
That's because I hard muted. Mumu has recovered slightly from their feast, and you see they've returned to sort of normal energy levels. She's held in your arms slightly reluctantly. You can see that she's, I recognize this place, and having a look around and having a little sniff. You get the feeling that she'd quite happily have a little potter around if you were to let her go, but she's sort of content for now.
I guess it's fine if I let you out here. Just don't. I mean, there's nothing here for you to blow up, so maybe just stay here, calm. And like he's talking to Mumu like they understand, and it's just going to release the zipper on the backpack and just let Mumu crawl.
Yeah, they look at you. There's sort of an awareness there. It's not complete understanding, but like she's looking at you. She's making eye contact with you as you talk. It's like, but then as soon as you kind of let her go, she's again begins licking things. There's like maybe a couple of batteries left lying, and she has a little lick of them, but they're not dead. They don't have a lot.
Licking your mind.
Didn't actually come through.
Perfect. Brilliant. I loved it. Wait, hang on. Did you say Mumu did or did not like the batteries?
She licks them, but quickly gives up on them.
Okay, kids don't lick batteries at home. They were dead batteries, right?
Some of them were. Some of them were.
Yeah.
Ah, no, we can't use batteries as little snackies.
I don't think Mumu has a normal diet.
No.
Established. Kimberly and Becky, what kind of time do you arrive?
Oh, I think I'm the last of the two of us to arrive.
Okay.
Sure. In that case, Jesse, the door opens and Kimberly comes in with multiple food tech parcels. Okay, so I have pineapple upside down cake. I have so many Arctic rolls. Some of them are burnt. Some of them I might have eaten on the way over. But we'll find out something. And bread and butter pudding. I just give out a buffet of various 80s treats. We'll find something.
Jesse is shaking. Says like Kimberly.
Oh no! Don't tell me they're like gluten intolerant. I've really screwed up. Then I only use flour.
No, Kimberly. Mumu caused the blackout.
Mumu caused the blackout.
Mumu licked a power socket and caused the blackout.
I mean, when I'm hungry, I also cause problems, but that sounds like a really big problem.
It's a real big problem. I did it. I let them have like a little roam around, like a little wander around in music class, and then I looked away for a second, and I looked back, and the tongue was in the socket, and then boom, and then like there was nothing, there was no recovery, and then like people were coming, and everything was dark. I
Okay,
Kimberly, we can't feed Mumu.
No, we can. Okay, but we did good. I pull down the scroll of food pyramid and I add it. It's like, okay, electricity, good. Cross out gluten, fish, sweets. Dust was also on there, but that was been really much. Okay, we now know what Mumu likes to eat. do you know where we get electricity from?
I feel like that's a good time for Becky to walk in. And I think, like, contrasted to the frantic energy of this conversation, Becky walks in like she has all the time in the world. She just kind of like strolls in like, hey everyone, and then like she's like kind of like watching outside. This little like bug has kind of come in with her, and she's totally distracted by it. And then she kind of like looks around, and then she goes, where's Annabeth? She's normally the first one here.
You know, that's right.
Did we leave her behind?
Well, you know, I got here. I didn't think I would be the first one here, but I was the first one here, and then Kim got here, and now you're here. So Annabeth's still not here yet. Anyway,
oh my goodness, Jessie! What if the fairies have eaten her?
Oh my god,
Becky! Annabeth's not been eaten by fairies, for one. I don't think. Strange things are happening. Moo
what?
caused the blackout.
Moo caused the blackout.
Moo licked the... I'm gonna have to keep saying this. Moo licked the power socket. Tongue in socket. Blackout. No power. School. Moo caused it.
I think like you can see like this information is whirring around Becky's head, and then she kind of looks at Moo with a very judgmental expression and says, "You eat electricity?"
I don't know what I think anymore.
Look, we all need to calm down, have some roly-poly, and I give out various slices and like, look, when Annabeth comes with a plan, we'll be able to sort things out. Annabeth always has plans, okay?
I think Becky sits and immediately, she's probably at this point, she's starting to get a little bit into robotics and stuff like that. So at this point, she's like, as well as art stuff in her bag, she's also got like random circuitry components, I think, that she just picked. Probably like the pretty ones that look like that they're like they're colorful and stuff like that, but she's just kind of sits down and she's just like, can she try to make something that will produce electricity? I don't know.
Oh boy, yeah, you can try.
Like,
how
probably this is very dangerous, but something that might produce like a spark or something. I don't know.
You can absolutely try. It's gonna be a pretty tough roll. It's probably like a tinker or I think it's got to be a tinker.
I mean,
tinker, you say?
Tinker.
Energy can't be created or destroyed, so this is brilliant. If we can get a small rechargeable thing, we can constantly feed Moo and never have any worries ever again.
All right. Well, let's see how I do, because I think I've got a 3.
No pressure.
I've got a 3 in tinker.
That's not bad.
So let's see.
I'm going to say this is hard. This is going to require 2 successes.
That's a no. That's a 0 successes. No. And that's fine. I mean, I don't know if I want to spend a luck on this. This was just like me.
You would require 2 successes.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to leave that. I think,
okay.
And just kind of, I think Becky just starts to like pull out random components as she tries to remember like what her dad was saying. But I feel like her dad is the kind of person that he is. It's fun to do the thing with him, like when he gets into it, because what Becky likes is watching him get animated and excited. He's not the most brilliant teacher in terms of being patient or explaining the steps. So she's she's not great at paying attention. So I think that she tries to remember how some little things go together, and it kind of like doesn't quite match up. And then she's like, that's not right. I might need to ask my dad's help.
And all the time that you're doing it, Moo is very interested. As soon as you pick up like the batteries and stuff, and it can see that you're doing something, it comes over and it has a little look, and I'm going to say it's probably more difficult to achieve this because you've got a small alien creature like climbing up your arms and trying to be a parrot for a little while. And again, it has a little look at the batteries. It's just not that interested in them.
Obviously, I won't tell him, but yeah, I probably gonna need help or something.
Maybe we can make like a potato clock. Or the potatoes have enough, like a lemon clock. We put the lemons in the. I don't know, Becky. I'm trying to think.
Look, everyone just calm down as I'm eating trifle.
Like looking very judgmental again. Like she's just like. It's like a lemon clock. We can do better than a lemon clock, Jessie.
I'm trying to think about sustainability, okay? Like how for like we have to probably feed them every day. How much? For how long?
Well, maybe Mumu caused a blackout because Mumu was very, very hungry. Maybe if we feed now like a little bit at a time, it'll only take a little bit at a time. Probably not, but maybe.
Annabeth, let's say that by the time that this science experiment is done, you are arriving.
The thing is, I'm absolutely loving that sheer chaos that's happening working my way. And I was like, how long can I push this and see what they end up with? Oh gosh, I haven't decided what sort of energy Annabeth is walking in with. Okay. Annabeth walks in the door. So Mumu is parroting Becky with a failed circuit thing in front of them. Kimberly is in the corner shoving trifle in her
I've
face.
eaten so many desserts. I'm
Surrounded
actually like
by empty desserts.
There's so much cream.
And
It's not even football season right now. How are you going to run that off?
No.
Jesse is head in hands. Jesse's head in hands, but one of the hands has a roly-poly, so there's just like slight jam on his forehead.
Yes!
This is like Annabeth opens the door and whatever mood she had on her face instantly vanishes as she just kind of takes in the chaos. And she does like a tiny little, like, not like a these fools sigh, like, but like almost like an affectionate sigh. Walks in, closes the door, pulls out a handkerchief, goes over to Jesse, like takes the roly-poly and puts it on a plate and like wipes the jam off of his head.
Annabeth, you're alive!
Why wouldn't I be alive?
You're never late. Ever.
Okay, but you're never gonna guess what I found.
What?
Okay.
No, I'm not. Tell me.
No, we're all like,
like Annabeth is clearly trying to compute like how she's gonna deliver this in a way. First of all, does anyone want to share why Dr. Raff is trying to tell the deputy head teacher that we're all drama?
Becky sinks a little lower in
Becky.
her chair.
Well, I mean, I had a conversation with Dr. Raff today. Not one I wanted to have. I was accosted in the corridor.
He what?
He came up to me. He asked me why I wasn't in class, and then he was asking me loads and loads of questions, and a lot of them were about you, and I tried to deflect. I took a lot of inspiration from Operation Distraction Force, and I tried to distract him from the subject of you, so I might have pointed out that he was a little bit sweaty. And it worked. He was distracted by that.
Okay.
And then I ran.
A couple of things. 1, confirming he has all of his teeth still.
He has all of his teeth still.
Perfect.
But I was very late to class today.
2, did the school call Mum?
Might they have called Mum?
Did Dr. Raff say, I'm gonna have the office call your parents?
I didn't give him a chance to say that. I ran.
Okay, gonna put a pin in that one. We might need to go home. Number 3.
I'm sure it's fine. He seemed quite...
What did you say
Flustered.
about me, Becky?
Nothing!
Becky.
I said he was asking about what you were writing about. You know how when you were talking to him and you were like, oh, it's just my latest story. And he was like, oh, but is it? I think it's not. Let me try and probe. And you were like, bam, bam, bam. Deflect, distract. It's just my latest story. Well, I did the same thing. And I backed up your story.
I'm sure everything is fine. But he did try and
You've
tell...
got your mad face on, and I don't appreciate it.
You know what, Becky? You're right. I'm really sorry. You are incredibly capable. You did the best that you could do in a surprising situation, and I'm proud of you for handling it the way that you did.
She just goes fully silent for a moment. And she's like, you think I'm capable?
Anyway, so Dr. Rapp in the corridor was talking about us to the deputy head, and the deputy head wasn't really having it, so that's fine. But I followed Dr. Raff because it was, you know, like when it's like light outside and it's dark inside, so it's like all shady and you can't really see people properly because of like different light levels. So anyway, I rounded the corner and he had conveniently dropped a letter, and oh my gosh, this letter is from his ex-boyfriend. But it gets better. His ex-boyfriend works for math. Even better than that, and I pull out the picture. Moo. Actually, no, this is really bad. Moo is gonna grow to the size of a bus, and I pass over the Polaroid.
We just peer over at this Polaroid and then look up at Moo. I think if Moo grows to be that size, we're gonna need some more electricity.
Why would we need... And then I turn and I look at Jessie, because Jessie had Moo this afternoon. Now, the thing is, I thought it might have been one of us.
Was it my fault?
Did Moo... I'm not, like, and, like, Annabeth looks really sincerely. I don't think that you... I'm not blaming you for anything. Did Moo cause the blackout?
Moo lit the power socket and caused a blackout.
Moo ate the power socket?
I didn't. I looked away for a second. It's like dealing with a toddler. A really long tongue. I didn't know that he was going to put the socket. It's not my fault.
Okay. This is a lot to unpack. I need to go to my happy place. So Dr. Raff and his ex-boyfriend were going to adopt a child, but apparently they scared Dr. Raff away. So that's something that you should all know.
Annabeth, I love this for you, but I feel like...
I got the feeling that Dr. Raff didn't really like children. Yeah, is that information for this scenario?
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I'm just trying really hard not to freak out because Moo caused the blackout, and if the people at math realize that Moo caused the blackout, and they know that creatures like Moo exist because they had photo evidence of it, then we are in a lot more trouble than I thought. And so if I just think about something that makes me happy, like romantic drama, then I'm not gonna start freaking out because you're all freaking out. And if you're freaking out, then I can't freak out. But if
Annabeth,
somebody else decides to be the sensible one, then
Annabeth,
I
I
can
think Becky
freak out.
takes your shoulders and just Annabeth.
Becky.
You have like a connection with Mumu, right?
Yes.
Do you feel hungry?
I will put across a small bowl with jelly and fruit in it, and like leave it, and then like back away.
Wait, who are you offering that to? Me or
To
Mumu?
you, yes.
Me.
Yeah, to you.
Okay. Okay, hang on. I'm really worked up, and when I'm worked up, I can't do the things. I just.
If Becky's right, then if you have a connection, then maybe if you're always full, then maybe Mumu will also be full.
That was not where I was going with it.
What do you mean? That's exactly what you did.
I just meant we can see how hungry Mumu is through you.
Okay. Annabeth takes off her backpack or like her bag, sets it down, sits cross-legged in the sand, and kind of like opens her arms up to Mumu, and like it kind of like nestles in my lap. And I'm just gonna like absent-mindedly stroke it and kind of like close my eyes and try and like reach out emotionally towards it. And because we're in close proximity, I'm hoping that helps me.
Give me an empathize roll.
Empathize. That's one success.
Nice.
I'm hard muted. You, like Mumu comes to you very freely, is very curious, is giving it the full. Is getting better with his little legs so he doesn't stumble as much. And as soon as you touch him, you feel the connection is always there. It's always in the back of your mind. You're very aware that Mumu exists and the emotional state that it's going through, but it's heightened when you are in contact.
Mm-hmm.
You can definitely tell that Mumu has eaten. There is definitely a blunting of that keen, sharp hunger that you have experienced before.
Mm-hmm.
But you could still eat. You could definitely still eat.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Mumu has room for dessert, but not that dessert. And I point to like what Kimberly's made. That does look very delicious though. Kimberly, can I have some, please?
Becky has just been taking.
I just push all the pies, all the upside down cakes, all that sort of. I am worth it.
I fully believe we stole a bin of like wooden cutlery from like Kimberly's parents' place. So I pull out some like cutlery and begin digging into a pie.
I think Becky grabs one of the burnt Arctic rolls, puts a little bit in her mouth, and goes, and then just continues to eat.
Okay. No, this is great. This is fine. This is not fine. We need to if looking at the Polaroid, if Mumu grows to this size, they're not gonna fit in the Wendy house anymore.
Annabeth like puts her hand over her mouth until she's done eating, and she's like, "Mumu was just born. Like I think we've got time. Also,
Are you sure?
Do you think Mumu's mom is gonna come back? And look, because I showed pictures of the Polaroid to Mumu. And I think about I try and reach out again, and I think about my own mum. and see if Mumu recognizes that bond.
What a great question.
Oh,
Let me see.
And if Mum doesn't pull up anything, I'll think about my dad, who is like literally like a whole like ocean away,
Mm-hmm.
and that distance, and see if that does anything instead.
Okay. So here's the thing. When you think about Mum, when you think about that connection, that relationship and the bond and everything that it means to you, like the safety and the nourishment and the love and the connection, Mumu thinks of you.
I'm not gonna cry. You can't make me.
Mumu thinks of all four of you, but the first person that she thinks of is Annabeth.
No, I'm not gonna cry. This is fine.
I'm gonna cry.
She looks around the room. She seems pretty content and happy. Looks at each of you. And then gets distracted and maybe tries a bit of lemon meringue pie or something.
Oh.
we thought we cracked it.
I almost. It was electricity and lemon meringue pie. The small diagram. No.
I do think about my dad, and I give him a moment, and then I try again, and I think about my dad, but very specifically about somebody who is responsible for your biological existence, but has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of float that out.
Okay.
And see if that strikes closer to.
So the aspect of a biological connection is too abstract for this little creature to understand. But you feel like maybe there's some resonance with the concept of somebody you're connected to being far away. It's not as strong an emotion, but Mumu lingers on it for a moment. There's a slight dip in her mood, and then she moves on from it. You've all relayed all the information to one another. Everybody's up to speed.
I think so.
I think it's probably getting late now, and you're going to be expected home soon. Some of you are probably already past the point of being expected. Are you going to call it for the evening and regroup again, or are you coming up with a plan of attack now?
Let's sleep on it. We've had a big day. Scoop Mumu up into my backpack. And head home. Mumu does sleep on the end of Becky's bed in an ET situation. Because adults won't notice, but we can keep an eye.
Becky has all sorts of weird like plushies in various. I think that Becky's bed is the best bed.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I think so. It's our turn anyway. I think Mumu like kind of does a rotation between the houses. But it is our turn. So go home, have some rest, think of a plan of attack.
I think that during dinner, Becky asks her dad a lot of questions. Well, first of all, I think Becky makes sure that she's not in any kind of trouble and no one has called home and said that she said anything awful. Okay, fantastic. So there's an audible relief about that. And then I think that she will ask her dad a lot of questions about like, oh, we were learning in science about electricity today, and it made me think, And she just starts asking all these really deep questions, and it's probably like not necessarily something that her dad's going to be an expert in, but it's like he works at the Magnetrine Harbor. He is pretty good at robotics, at least on an amateur level, and I think that she just considers him the point of knowledge on this. So she's like asking him about in a way that she thinks is subtle. I think that like it's subtle enough that it wouldn't be related to Mumu in any way, but probably not subtle in that like where has this random enthusiasm for electricity come from. But
I think there's a strong argument that it wouldn't appear random to him, because you asked for this robot for your birthday in spring, and we'll say that you'd spent a decent amount of time together building that robot. You replicated that fairy robot, but it was like Fairy 2.0. You made it much better and sleeker, and it was a real bonding experience for the two of you. And you probably he definitely feels like a bit closer to you, and you could probably notice not more affection, because it's not like he was withholding affection, but it's just another avenue of conversation for you that you didn't necessarily have before, or that you had lost. And so he's very open to the questions, and he's very, very happy. He does link things back to the Magnetrine Harbor, and he'll tell you about the Magnetrine effect. Is there anything specific that you are wanting to glean?
I think she's wanting to glean information about electricity, like how to keep electricity sustainable. She's interested in the Magnetrine Harbor as like if there's like a link there, or if that could produce some kind of energy or something that might be potentially an avenue to explore. I think that she just wants to know. Well, I think Becky wants to know how to create like a kind of almost permanent source of electricity that's not going to like take out the whole town, basically. But like obviously she's going to try to phrase that in a question of like she's probably going to think of it as more like a how do I create something small that will last a long time, that Mumu can snack on. Okay.
I want you to make a roll for it to see how much of this information I'm going to give you.
How much you understand?
It's probably either a calculate or a comprehend. They are meant to do slightly different things in the rules. So depending on which one you choose, the information will be relayed to you in a slightly different way.
Okay, so I'm much better at comprehend.
Okay.
So I think I will probably go comprehend, but with the understanding that I'm probably not going to get the very sciencey stuff out of it because it's not calculate. But yeah, I would like to try to comprehend. Like Becky is incredibly ADHD and finds focus hard, but you can see Annabeth at dinner. She is trying her utmost best to really pay attention to what is being said and understand it. And maybe she gets her dad to like draw some diagrams because she works with diagrams much better than she does with written word in her sketchbook and stuff like that, so that she can actually understand and process this information as best she can. Let me roll.
Is there a way I can help with this and improve Becky's chances of success?
Let's see.
Is there an aid mechanic in this game?
I don't think that there is, actually. No. Let me triple check.
Oh my god, not Annabeth actually taking an interest and just making my dad's day.
Oh no, absolutely not. I've already figured out if I do anything, I know exactly how I'm gonna do it in a way that I'm gonna be a little dick about it.
Shocker. Helping each other. Yeah, you describe how you help, and then you can give your friend one extra die.
Nice.
Annabeth has her notebook open on the table. It just looks like she's like eating with one hand and doing like her like robotics homework with the other. But she is actually like listening without looking and taking notes like she would in a class.
Excellent. Okay.
Ooh, cool.
So that
Get
even
next
if
to
you
die.
even if you don't understand exactly what it is that Dad says, you may be able to go and do future research or ask
Research
one of the others.
in the library, or like, you know, Annabeth is a bit older than me, so might understand it better than me anyway.
Okay.
All right, I will roll.
Go for it.
I have 1 success.
1 is enough. Okay, so how to abstract this?
Did you add the extra die in?
I did not actually.
Roll 1 more and see if you get a 6.
Can I do? Oh no, sorry, I accidentally rolled 2, but it was nothing anyway, so that's
No
fine.
worries.
I did not know how to do that, and I just clicked it twice. Like, how do I roll? Sorry.
Okay, so with 1 success, this might sound like a failure, but it's not. He will give you a very basic answer about electricity and will fairly quickly sort of veer into talking about magnetrine freighters because that's his specialty, that's his work, and that is how he can most practically relate that information. So you get a little bit of information about, he talks about voltage and like the basic science stuff that you've probably already covered. What you get from that is that most batteries are not going to be enough for Mumu's needs. I'll make it really clear. The electric current, she shorted out the electricity at school because that wasn't enough.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
There is nothing else big enough. Commercial, like on your scale, you're not going to be able to walk into Sports Indirectly and get a torch that is powerful enough.
Okay, right.
But then he starts talking about magnetrine freighters and how they work and like the massive engines that they have and different ways of generating the electricity. And he starts talking about the magnetrine effect and how they levitate, how they generate lift and the science behind that. And starts talking about the neodymium that they use in the cycle.
The what?
I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Neodymium. I will put it in our chat.
Neodymium?
Neodymium.
That just feels like it's relevant because also I heard the word levitate.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And we know that Mumu levitates.
I guess what I would like to know is if Becky is thinking of it in a more organic, relatable way, does it sound like magnetrine engines and neodymium might be more filling than standard electricity?
So the magnetrine effect itself does not generate electricity. It generates the lift.
Okay, it's a result of, okay.
Yeah. So the freighters have their own engines, but the magnetrine discs have neodymium inside that rotates at high speed, and that creates like a magnetic, you know, like when you put magnets next to each other and they buffer away, it's like that, constant and contained, and it actually pushes against the magnetic field in the earth. And that is how they maintain lift. But all of that's completely irrelevant because you don't have anything that levitates.
Well, I think we just found out how Mumu flies.
Okay,
Mumu doesn't fly. Mumu's never flown.
Mumu's mother flew.
Don't break Mumu's dreams. That thing will fly.
We're gonna
ET Stranger Things this. Mumu's gonna be in a basket and
okay. Right.
So it
Taylor,
sounds like go ahead.
Hang on, Taylor is trying to get her head around this. So the way that the things in the harbor levitate, They have neodymium inside of them. That's like a thing that spins ? Which generates lift. So we have to get so basically, what causes it to spin, did you say?
So a neodymium freighter will have certain number of pods, discs. They're called neodymium discs on the side and bottom of them. I will say that you know this. You've paid attention in class, even science class. And bear in mind, this is really prevalent, commonplace technology in your world. The world runs on magnetrine technology. It is a disc which has an iron pod encasing a neodymium rod, and the rod spins inside the iron pod.
And that's powered by...
That's powered by electricity.
But
it doesn't have much to do with the actual physics, the interactive physics of the neodymium. The only thing that it does is make the neodymium rod spin.
But the power to make it spin might be worth investigating.
Okay. So
might be.
Are they
like health might be worth investigating.
Are they charged? Or do they basically are they charged like are the discs charged like batteries? Or do they have a constant electricity? Basically, is it like a battery pack or like a phone charger?
It's like it's kind of like a jet engine on a plane. The jet fuel is what is burning, but it's the electric current running through the plane that is powering all of those systems. It's not a special type of electricity. It's just the electricity that it's running everything else on that freighter as well, like the navigation and the lighting inside for the crew to work on. It's regular electricity. It's just powering a very special interaction with the neodymium.
Yeah. Interesting.
I think
it could be worth investigating. This might be our solution.
So then would we need to acquire
a boat?
No, we can go down to the harbors. They're bound to have like a I think probably Annabeth and I are staying up late tonight. Torches in one of the rooms, having a chat.
Torches, absolutely not. That's how you get caught by parents. It is very much Annabeth is sitting in the pitch black on Becky's floor.
Incredible. And we're kind of chatting, and I think that it's pretty clear that Becky has randomly picked up on like random elements of it very well, and some of it has gone completely over her head. But probably between the two of us, we can figure out that perhaps this neodymium would be worth looking into.
Yeah. I think Mumu has something similar, if not the same. Is like basically made of something similar, if not the same.
Maybe if we can get hold of some, we could do an experiment and see if Mumu will eat it or interact with it, or it might make Mumu fly. It's like Mumu's very own fairy dust. Maybe, sort of.
No, actually, I think you're quite on the money with that one. Yeah, I think we need to take a trip to the harbor.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Science is not my strong suit, but I'll do extra studying this week. So I'll see if I can figure something out. But you did great, Becky. Like, you did really well at dinner.
I think she kind of just like gives you a little like smile. I think that like I will say that I think that when you said science is not your strong suit, it did sting her a little bit. Like But she kind of just like gives you a reassuring smile and like tries to let it wash over her head as she so often
No,
does.
I meant science is not my strong suit. Did I say your strong suit?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. That was
or maybe I misheard it. I don't know, but I thought that's what you said, and I was like, oh.
Oh no. Science is not Annabeth's strong suit. Sorry, that's what I intended to say.
I see. In which case, she smiles happily then, because you just said the really nice things to her. So,
okay, I will scurry across the hall, when the coast is clear, back to my bed, leaving Mumu with Becky, and get some sleep.
Let's continue this theme. Let's check in on everybody at home. Jesse, you return home and your dad is home. He was out this morning. He's been out most of the day. You find him at home. The TV's on, like the 9 o'clock news is on. He's got, you can see a bottle of beer in his hands and at least 2 others sort of at his feet, already emptied. He's not really watching the news. He's not really paying attention to much. He's just kind of seems lost in his own world.
Jesse will, as he enters, he's gonna drop his book bag sort of at the entryway.
Huh? Oh, hey, Jesse. You back from school?
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of late. There was a power cut at school, so they kind of let us go early.
Power cut. Oh. There's pizza on the counter if you want it. Sorry, I didn't. There's nothing in the fridge.
That's okay. And he'll slowly move towards the pizza and just sort of look at it. Is everything okay at work?
Yeah, everything's fine, yeah.
I wasn't, I sort of, you left a note on or a letter.
Oh, you saw that, huh? Yeah, don't worry about that. That's, that won't affect us. Don't worry.
Okay. Like, he barely says the okay. Do you want me to leave some of this for you?
I'll just take a slice. Come sit with your old man. Come sit and have a beer with me.
Okay. And Jesse's just gonna bring the whole box.
He reaches down to the opposite side of the sofa and pulls up another beer and like takes the top off and he hands it towards you. And you're 16, right?
Not yet, Dad.
Real quick check-in. Is this okay? Is this on anybody's lines?
I'm fine.
Okay. He'll offer you it.
Jesse will take it, but just like kind of take it and then put it down on the other side of him.
So, what's up with you these days?
School?
Yeah, nearly summer holidays.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It'll be fun.
Got any plans?
No, that's the fun part.
Right. Do you want to I don't know if this would even be possible, just a thought. Do you want to go visit your mom for a bit? Maybe? Like I don't want you to feel like you're trapped around here with boring old me, but like
Jesse's just hard staring at the pizza now. I mean, do you want me to go visit her?
I'm not trying to get rid of you, if that's what you mean. I know it's been a while and I just thought I would offer. Like I say, I haven't spoken to her, so I don't know if not that she wouldn't want to see you. I'm sure she would want to see you, but I don't know if she's set up for that. If she's busy, I don't. If you want me to, I can call her. That's all. That's all I meant.
I think if she wanted to see me, she would come here.
I don't know that that's true, but she just needs a bit of time to. I don't really know, but she needs that time. So she's over there and we're here and but she's in Manchester. It's a city. There'd be stuff to do. Could be pretty fun. I'll talk to her if you want me to. But if you don't want me to, I won't.
I'll think about it.
Okay. So, any girlfriends, boyfriends?
No, Dad.
Cool. What you listening to these days?
Do you want to put on like a different channel or something?
Sure. And he'll flick through to like channel 4. There are 4 TV channels. That's right, kids. There used to be only 4 TV channels. And like some movie comes on, like The Italian Job comes on, and you sit and watch The Italian Job with your dad in incredibly awkward silence.
You watch the bit with the taxis going to the side of the thing.
It feels too real.
To you.
I think a little bit of there's a little bit of time that passes, and then Jesse very quietly asks, "Dad, when you met Mom, what did you like about her?"
He practically like spits out the beer that he's drinking. Where did that come from? What?
I was just wondering what you liked when you met her.
Are you asking to know about her or about me, or is this a relationship question?
I'm just wondering.
I want to answer it right. I want to give you the answer that you. There are certain things that I'm not gonna say, like.
Ew.
Okay, no, she's like
No,
okay.
Forget I asked.
She was a snappy dresser. She lit up a room. She is the smartest person in any room she's in, and she knows it, but not in a way that she's full of herself. She just had this confidence. She made people feel good by being around them. And she liked making people feel good. Is that right? Is that what you wanted?
Yeah. Thanks, Dad.
Okay. I'm gonna get to bed. I gotta I'm pulling a double tomorrow, so he like fumbles for his wallet in his pocket and pulls out a couple of tens. Just get yourself a nice lunch, get yourself something for dinner. Don't wait up for me.
Okay. Just pockets the money. This is not unusual.
All right. Stay out of trouble, kid.
Have a good sleep, Dad.
Yeah. He makes his way upstairs. Leaves you alone.
Jesse's just gonna take a moment to pack up the rest of the pizza and then clear up the beer bottles and put the beer that he didn't drink back in the fridge. Start his homework. And these are the faces I enjoy.
That's why we do it. Finally, Kimberly. You get home, let's say a little bit earlier than 9 p.m.
Yep.
But late enough that it's Monday night, so it's not. In fact, you know what? Let's say that the fish and chip shop is closed on a Monday.
Yeah.
So you get home and your parents are just bustling around the house. Oh, hey, Kimberly! You home?
Oh, hey!
Oh.
Hi! Look, I made tiramisu.
Oh, wow! And they like both descend with spoons.
Oh,
This is so good.
oh,
Wow,
thank
you
you.
made this by yourself.
Yeah, I had a really good time. I also, and then like other bits, obviously, because I've got tins and tins of this stuff. So there's like lemon meringue pie, potato rolls. I did eat quite a few of those though, so there's only like 2 left.
They're pretty good. They're Liam's favorites.
Oh, yeah. Have you heard from him?
Not today. No. We'll probably try to see him at the weekend.
Oh, cool.
Your dad comes through and he's like, Kimberly, we got a call from school. You missed your after-school lessons today.
Oh, yes. No, you see, terrible things happen. The power went out. Scary. And it was chaos, so I couldn't do the lesson because the lights weren't on. And you know how important lights are for reading.
No. Mr. Parker said that he waited for you.
Did he?
He seemed pretty put out.
Oh, that's a shame. But I can go back tomorrow or later this week or next week.
I think that you should.
Yeah,
it's important, and it has been helping.
Yes. Yeah. No. I said I'd do it, and I've been doing it. I forgot. Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you.
No, we're not upset. We're just concerned.
It sounds like you're upset.
No, it's just concerned.
No, it sounds like you're upset.
Okay, we're not.
No, okay.
We're just concerned. No, good.
No, good.
There's nothing to be upset about. It was a simple misunderstanding.
Yep.
And we can fix it.
How long do I have to keep doing them?
Well, as long as Mr. Parker says it's necessary, really, and he's the expert.
But like, I don't really want to do it through the whole of summer. I've got plans.
Yeah. No, we know. You don't have to do it in term time. You don't have to do it in the summer.
It's very hard. Like everyone else gets to go, and I have to wait, and then be in his stuffy office, and it smells, and then he makes me write my name several times so I get it right.
You're getting it right more often than you're not now, and that's good.
I mean, I just thought I'd change my surname. To be honest with you, it's quite a long surname.
We're very proud of that surname. We come from a long line of Chettelbergs.
We do.
It's a proud heritage.
I've got a plan though, guys. Like I was thinking, like, if the football stuff doesn't work out, if for whatever reason, like the bloaters don't take me in the next intake or two, I thought maybe a dessert person. But maybe we could start off small, like Madeira cake. I was thinking maybe lemon drizzle, carrot cake. I hear is coming in, although vegetables I don't know. Look, I don't need writing. I don't need it. Or reading. I'm.
You do, Kimberly, you do. Even if you become a pastry chef, and we would fully support you in that.
You would?
We could help you with the food industry side, food safety and all that.
Oh, yeah.
But you need to be able to read recipes, don't you? And to write your own. You could have your own cookbook one day.
Oh my god.
Right? But you need to be able to write it.
Oh.
It's working, Kimberly. Just stick with it.
Okay. I feel like no one else has to do this stuff. No one else struggles.
Oh, people struggle, don't worry. People struggle with different things, that's all. Did you know I couldn't tie my shoelaces until I was 25?
What? But they're like really important. Like you need what if they come undone? You know what Damien did? And I go into a whole thing about Damien at the football.
And your parents are right there. Your parents hate Damien.
Yeah.
Damien is the worst player on the team. They're right there with you.
Yeah, he didn't tie up his shoelaces and he lost those passes and I could have scored. I told him he needed to. So, sorry, I didn't mean to demonize people who can't tie their shoelaces, but but I know how important that is. So
Skills
I get it. It's very important. Oh, I didn't realize you struggled with that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just my fingers are not very dexterous.
No. Oh. My brain's not very dexterous.
It is, just in different ways. You're really good at problem solving.
Kimberly thinks back to all the times where her problem solving has got into more problems. Guys, there is something I do need to tell you.
Yeah.
So you know Simon?
Simon.
I used to hang out with like the group.
Oh yeah, Simon. Yeah, very smiley kid. Yeah.
Yeah. He I might have done something. I took one of his teeth. I gave it back. But I just wanted you to know, just in case you hear anything else from school.
When you say you took it,
That's
confusing.
I rode a bike into him and I plowed and I grabbed a teeth and I didn't know what happened. It was... Look, please, look, I don't know what I've become.
All right, Kimberly.
I gave it back. I just wanted you to know, because I hate lying to you guys so much.
And we appreciate that.
Oh, transparency.
There's a sausage and chips for you in the warmer.
Oh.
Go and eat your dinner and we'll talk about this later.
Oh, no pickles. Okay. Oh, the worst punishment.